In Kenya, no, jazz in Kenya landed in Mombasa before anywhere else. There used to be nice quartets, trios.
I love it.
And we grew up listening to these guys with a double bass. Watch a bass here, squeezy. Double bass, piano, drums.
Foundational CTA. That's what this is. If you're catching us here, I promise you, I always say this, but this time I really mean it. Go and watch from the beginning. This is one incredible story. Hey, it's an incredible one. Okay, John, so where we've left off is you've finished high school. Tuendelee na hii.
Yeah, so I finished high school. I passed that was now certificate of secondary education. Yeah. And I got called to Egerton College or Egerton College. I wanted to be a doctor. I was very good in biology. I wanted to be a doctor. I passed very well in biology. But they called me to go and do agriculture. So I just said, I'm not going to this. I said, sitaenda huko. And there was so much music playing in my head. So I said, I'll look for a job, remain in the band. Because that time, sunajua what is now not Jomo Kenyatta, Moi University. What's Egerton College? It's got a different name.
Egerton, is it still there? It's still there.
Yeah,
still
yeah.
There.
So, kwenda kusoma agriculture hapana. So I passed that opportunity. Luckily, I got employed by the Customs and Excise Department.
In Mombasa?
In Mombasa, which is now KRA.
Yeah.
I was employed as a preventive officer. Now you want to laugh.
No, I'm trying to
That actually meant I was an askari.
Yes,
you know, these Mzungus have a funny way. And then later on, I came to get this joke that for an African, back in the day, they would say he's a rat catcher, but for a Mzungu, they say he's a rodent officer. So I became a protective officer of the Customs and Excise Department.
AKA Naskari.
My posting, after training, my first posting was at the Likoni Ferry jetty, where ships used to dock. Kenya was exporting cement that time. So I was positioned there at the gate. Lakini nikitoka, those days it was official hours up to 4 o'clock. So 4 o'clock, nakimbia nyumbani, tuko kwa servants' quarter, rehearsals with the band.
What?
Yeah.
So for you, at this moment in time, your mind is shifting to band full time.
Kabisa.
So this job, you're just doing a job for the sake?
It was just for the sake. Because I dropped, I told my mom, I'm not going there. You know? Because our dad passed on in 1972, our mom was there.
Yeah.
And I said, Mama, mimi sitakuwa mkulima. Lakini siwe kila siku nakuona unapenda shamba nini. She tried to convince me. I said, no, this is not for me.
Mom, your mom was supportive.
Yeah. I said, this is not for me, Mom. I will not even go and pick that.
Djembe.
No, the invitations, the document.
And let's be clear, if you did, this is the government paying for you.
Yes.
They'd pay for you accommodation, they'd even give you money.
Kila kitu. Back then it was full board accommodation and everything, you know, tuition fees. I said no. Deep in my heart, I knew I wanted to be a musician.
What did your siblings say?
They didn't say anything.
It's like your life.
Yeah, because Teddy, our eldest, when our dad passed on in 1972, Teddy was already at Makerere University. I told you, as far as academics, we've done well. Teddy was at Makerere University in Uganda. And my other siblings, like Billy was at what is today Tuk in Mombasa. It used to be called the Polytechnic, Mombasa Polytechnic.
Yes.
So we were all doing that, but the pull towards music was just so strong.
So even they, because they're older than you,
Yeah.
remember you said you're the fifth born,
Yeah.
even they were still doing whatever they're doing, then they come and do the music.
Yes, yes.
Wow.
And then when our dad passed on, the Bamburi cement factory gave them employment. That was the norm back then.
Yep.
You pass on, they look at your children, are they educated, are they grown-ups, they employ them. So Billy and Teddy were employed at Bamburi cement factory. So we 4:35 we start rehearsals. They come from their employment, I come from the customs, and with friends we rehearse. That's what we used to do.
Okay, so how does the story progress from here then?
From there, one day we just decided, and we called our mom. We said, "Mom, we are leaving our employments. We want to go full-time into music."
And what year is this around?
I think around 73, 74 there,
So
or
it's still that
75. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The moment we got contracts in beach hotels, you know, then we started looking at the money that we were earning, and at the end of the day, it was more than what we were being paid by government back then.
Yeah.
So we decided, we called our mom. We did everything in consultation with our mom.
Yes.
And she said, "Look, if God wants you to do that, it's your decision, but on condition that you'll not mess up." She really supported our gift for music. And she said, on condition that I do not want to hear tomorrow that one of you has been picked by the street drunk, or you've impregnated this girl and that girl and that girl. So she really now became like a policewoman to us. And the band started evolving.
Your mother is God sent. Like,
you could say that.
That is incredible. So she gives you a green light and just tells you, these are my conditions. My conditions is just be a decent human being.
Kabisa.
She's not asking you for nothing difficult. And at this time, you only have that hotel in Malindi.
No, we were doing Malindi, Watamu, and Mombasa, Kenya Beach.
So your name started growing. So now, who would go get you the hotels? How are you getting entry into these other hotels?
At that time, Billy was the, you know, by God's grace, we looked at our strengths, and Billy was in charge of, you know, getting the jobs, and Teddy to a certain extent, but Teddy was the overall. I was very young, so I was more into, I don't know, I was being drawn towards the technical part of music. I loved working on the amplifiers, the mixers, when they came through. And then eventually I transitioned to become like a studio sound engineer and the sound man for the band.
Okay.
And also the producer. Nearly all our music, I'm the one who arranges and records
Yes.
and produces, so to say.
I love it because you're talking about the beauty of groups.
Yeah.
Because in groups, you're 5 different, let's say you're 5 or 10, even 5 different individuals. Each of you comes with your different strengths.
Yeah.
So some people only see the vocal person who sings, but they never see the other people and the different roles they play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the group, who was singing?
At that time, Teddy was the lead singer.
Yes.
I was a backup singer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So Billy is the one who's business development.
Yeah.
Let me go get for you guys our gigs.
Yeah.
You are in technical, and then now Teddy's overall lead.
Yeah, administratively, Teddy was the overall.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's the eldest in the family, he's the founder of the band.
So by the time now you guys are getting to sit down your mom, you have 3 back-to-back gigs.
Yeah.
What were the hot days?
I would say the Saturday that we were doing back then, either Ocean View or Kenya Beach. Yeah. Because now our name was growing and people our friends from within the island used to come. And then the segregation, if I may call it strong word, had eased off.
Okay.
So we could get even some of my closest, very close schoolmates would come.
Okay, so to ask, at this time, by the time you're going to your mom, you have now 3 solid gigs. And you're realizing, higher, this thing can be a full-time, and they're all paying, of course.
Yeah.
And you guys are realizing this thing can be a full-time gig. And it's definitely earning us more money than this. It's earning us more money than our jobs, our real jobs, in quotes. So what happens next?
So we continue.
The mom says yes, then you guys leave.
Sorry?
Do you leave your jobs?
Yeah, we did, but not all at the same time. I think Billy is the one who left first, and then Teddy, then I. And of course, our brother, our sibling, between Billy and I, there's George. He also left his job. He was a mechanic back then, and he left. And we pulled our last-born brother out of school.
What?
Yeah. We pulled him out of school.
And said?
I think he was in Form 2 or Form 3. We said, look, we don't have time to waste.
You guys, this thing is serious.
Yes.
I've only had this for like the Jackson 5.
No, we pulled him out of school. He was the drummer. The last born was the drummer, Dennis, late.
What?
Yeah. So we pulled him out of school. So there was 5 brothers in the band and 2 friends.
And said what? This, make it or make it.
This is what we are going to do. Music is our life. Music is our life. Music is everything to us.
You know, it's one thing to say it, but now I'm beginning to believe it.
Yeah.
So, what happens next?
So we continue, and our name grew. Again, by God's grace, we didn't know, but God gave us a gift of strength in how to market ourselves. So at some places, we would go, if we wanted to put a foot in, we would offer to pay to perform for free.
Okay, yes.
And then we started what we called back then the boogies, This is a show we did from 2 o'clock up to 4:35, latest 6 on Sunday afternoons after church.
Okay.
So now this...
Boogies.
Yeah, boogies. So we used to hold these at Mbaraki Nursery School. And then by the time we were doing our 3rd month, the news had spread even beyond the island. So they used to be packed.
And you're charging entrance?
Yeah. They used to be packed.
But now, this is what year again?
This
in the
around,
70s?
Yeah, 70s. Around 1973, 74, 75, close.
So now we're like mid-70s?
Yeah, mid-70s.
But here's the thing. In the mid-70s, you guys are the guys who are pulling people's children to come and dance on a Sunday.
Exactly. And it gave us a lot of problems. But somehow we just persevered.
So when you talk about your name grew, it even means the reputation amongst some people must have been, you must have had also a bad reputation.
Yeah, but falsely so.
Of course, falsely.
Yeah,
Yes, But here are the guys who call kids.
Some parents used to come and pull their daughters, especially girls, were being pulled out of the venue. Babako yakuita wewe. Babako yakuita leo utachapwa wewe. It was that serious because here we are, young guys.
How old are you at this time?
I can't remember. It's
75.
I think 18, something like that. Thereabout. Wow. 17, 18, 19, thereabout. And we were packing the venue. Then when we grew so big for that venue, we transferred that now to Florida nightclub in Mombasa.
Ooh.
Because this is a place where mostly students came in. But we said, these students, man, they can't call us for weddings and all. So we moved that gig to Florida nightclub, and we started the boogies at Florida nightclub on Sunday afternoon. So we got working class people coming in.
Sunday afternoon now. Still charging?
Yeah.
Still charging your entrance.
Yes.
So that's how you guys now are making money from those events.
Yeah, from additional, besides the resident performances we had in the hotels, we used to do this, and we were still performing at wedding receptions.
Yes.
And also, once in a while, corporates would call us. But back in the day, it wasn't so much.
Okay, so what would happen is people would really like that you guys are performing. They're like, and you're doing covers. There's zero original that you've done.
Zero original.
But you're doing the pop music of that time.
Yes.
So people are really loving that. Hey, those songs that I know, our guys are singing them. People who look like me are singing them live.
Yeah.
You get?
Yeah.
So then they'd be like, these guys can come and sing for me at my wedding. They can play the music.
Yes.
So there now they...
So the business expanded.
Okay. We can continue.
So we kept on doing this while now doing the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 beach hotel shows. And then we used to perform at the Serena Beach Hotel for almost 3 years. Then
now you got a residency at Serena.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when we got residency at what is today Severin Sea Lodge, then they built the Neptune and the Plaza hotels just adjacent to each other.
Yeah.
They took us on for 6 nights a week.
6 nights a week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we used to rest on Mondays.
That's it.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we were just rotating in these hotels.
How many hotels are those?
Those are three hotels.
You left the Malindi one?
Yeah, we left. We left Malindi, Watamu, because now this was
in one spot.
And not so far from the island,
Okay, yes.
Neptune is in Bamburi. White Sands is in Bamburi.
Yes, all of them, yes.
Closer to Shanzu or
yes.
So we thought it made business sense to be resident here, although it's going to be tedious, but we were being paid well. And so we moved. So we kept on performing there.
So Monday's only day you'd be asleep?
Yeah. Tuesday to Sunday to Kwapo to now. 2 days here, 2 days here, 2 days here.
But what kind of songs now are you playing at these locations?
Still again, Western pop music, a little bit of African, and much, much later is when we started doing our own music.
Well, we'll get to your own music when it comes. I'm trying to. When you say African songs, it's now which local Africans are you doing?
Whatever was popular back then. There were some songs that just floated into Kenya through KBC, Voice of Kenya, and we listened to the radio, and we picked what was popular.
Okay.
And then when we were in that circuit, we got to meet a lot of guys, and we used to tell them, look, when you go back home, please send us cassettes of the popular music, especially most tourists at Neptune were Germans and Swiss.
Yes.
So we used to get these cassettes, rehearse. So a good number of them would come here and they would be surprised that, hey, this African band playing music from back home.
Yeah. And you singing it in German as well?
Some, yes. Because some of us, like I speak Italian and my brother George speaks German. So some of it, we would do that.
So did you go and learn Italian?
No.
What do you mean?
God gave each and every human the ability to speak. Some are linguists, but the ability to speak different languages. So because we were performing there, and later on we were performing at the, not Robinson, I've forgotten the name of the hotel in South Coast, whose tourists were predominantly Italian.
Yes.
That's how I got to learn Italian.
Just through interacting?
Yeah, through interacting. And George spoke German so fluently that they were, through interacting, because we were performing 6 nights and we talked to them, unavunja kidogo, paka mwisho, you could do that.
It's like you were in Italy or in German.
Yeah. You see, so that was.
But is there any Kenyan you're playing? Is there any Kenyan two questions. Number one, is there any Kenyan music who you are playing in this circuit? Number two, is there any band that looked at you and said, hey, I need to do this?
Okay.
Was there any band doing it apart from you?
There were very many bands a generation before us. And then our peer bands were also there.
Oh, there were many bands.
Yeah, there were
before
many
you?
bands. The Vikings, the Spartans, and so forth and so on. These were back in the day, the Vikings was the big band in Mombasa.
Oh.
And then we had some trios and quartets doing jazz. Jazz was very popular back then. Yeah.
Oh, jazz didn't come with Aaron Rimbui and...
Pana. Come on, man. Come on. Jazz, okay, in Kenya. No, jazz in Kenya landed in Mombasa before anywhere else. There used to be nice quartets, trios.
I love it.
And we grew up listening to these guys with a double bass. Watch a bass here, squeezy. Double bass, piano, drums.
Nice. Okay, so when you're doing this circuit, it's not just you. You're not. It's not like you have all these hotels to yourself.
No.
There's competition.
There was competition. There were so many bands. There are even more now. But back then, there were many bands.
Yes, and you need to be talented to be allowed in this.
You needed to be good to get an opportunity to perform in the beach hotels.
What made you guys stand out then?
It's the way we did the music. You know, we made sure that we rehearsed very well. By the way, we rehearse from Monday to Friday, whether we're going to a show or not. Back in the day, we used to rehearse. We said we left our jobs to do this.
This is our job.
So we rehearsed from 9 to 3, Monday to Friday without fail.
Wow.
That's why the band became so cohesive and
Yes.
so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is such a good interview. Hey, this is. Then now when you're called to a hotel calls you, Billy goes to pitch and says, "I've got the hottest band. You guys, you just need to hear us."
Yeah.
Because Billy, you guys need to have us on your circuit. They don't say, "Oh, sure, come." They're like, "Of course, come and present."
Yeah. The norm was you had to go for an audition.
You'd have to go for an audition.
Yeah.
So you'd go set up and everything.
Set up, wageni wakitoka kula, or you're performing when they're having their dinner, and then you perform when they're through with their dinner. So what they look out for, 1, the cohesiveness of the band. 2, did you pull the crowd onto the floor? And 3, they listen to the repertoire you're presenting.
Hey, you guys are good. Okay, let's go on with this. So now this has become your full-time job. Now you're busy Tuesday to Sunday.
Yeah.
Full-time job.
Kabisa.
And you've pulled your brother out of school. Yeah, that one needs, it needs, what's the name of the brother you pulled out of school?
Dennis Kalume Harrison.
Okay, yeah. You're pastor. Yeah, okay, let's go on with that.
So we kept on doing this. And then in 1980, early 1980, is when now we were still resident at the Severin Sea Lodge, but now we were also doing, what's it called? There's a hotel just as you cross to the south coast, to the left. I've forgotten the name of that hotel. We were also performing there as resident band once a week. So we had dropped to five nights at Severin Plaza and the other one.
Yeah.
So we took this contract and we were performing there. But at Severin, one day, after our performance, we were at the bar having our drinks, and people were talking, the barman joking with the tourists. But the norm was anybody coming in was greeted, Jambo, 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 you know. And then after that, Teddy says, you know, I have an idea of a song. I'll share it tomorrow in the rehearsal.